So this is somebody that's going to pull back now. They've done all they feel they can do, and it's almost like, for some of you, not all, but for some of you, it's almost like it's equally hurtful that they've been rebuffed, that you don't understand the effort they've made thus far, and that the reason why they're withdrawing is because you've disappointed them, and they have to look after their own emotional well-being now because of your disconnecting from them and you're letting them down. And that feels a bit manipulative to me. But it lacks the awareness of what brought the rift, or what brought the breakup, or what brought the fight, the whatever it is. They're laying it at your feet, like you weren't receptive to their reconciliation attempts, and that's really narrow-sighted. That's really short-sighted. So this is someone that's, it's almost like they're seeing this as you have rejected them and their efforts, instead of what has led up to the rift here, which is disappointing, because that's probably why you're like, yeah, I'm definitely staying away from this. I'm definitely not engaging, because this person has their way of viewing things, and that's it. And it was in their mind, in their mind, it was very noble and magnanimous of them to still pursue you and want a reconciliation. And the fact that you've rebuffed them, it's like they have to make it into something wrong with you, instead of looking at their actions or their behavior as to why there's been this rift. And it's almost like they might be telling anybody who will listen, well, the ball's in their court. I've done everything I can. And for some, that might be true, but it has this air of annoyance and just impatience about it. And like, well, my hands are clean on this one. And it's like, are they clean? Are they? Because this is, I don't know, it's like, well, I'm just going to be over here taking care of myself now because I've done all this for you and you're not even responding, so whatever. It's like, well, yeah, but are you looking at why Leo is not responding? Why? It's deeper than that, and this is because somebody was, very demanding, immature. This is somebody that just, there wasn't much of a connection. At least from what's showing here, there's not a whole lot of emotional connection. This is someone that's just very self-absorbed, or at least the focus was on them and their issues for quite some time, and that can take a real toll on a relationship. It's almost like over time, someone being verbally abusive, someone being really controlling, someone being always having to be right, someone always doing that nagging, correcting, or just discounting what you say, or it's just like enough. And what I'm seeing here, what's going on here, is that we've got someone that thinks they're always right. Gosh, this is kind of harsh, but it's like they think they're always right. The way it feels is it is lost on them what caused you to shut down and disconnect from them. For the Leos that I'm reading for, you were with somebody that it was just one too many times of them cheating, one too many times of them being verbally disrespectful, one too many times of them just everything having to be a knife fight. It's very intense personality, likes things a certain way, and doesn't understand, this is somebody that doesn't have a whole lot of depth when it comes to understanding others, or it's like they lack empathy. They didn't really give a lot, or at least give of themselves. And I suspect that you're giving them the cold shoulder or shutting things down because you're tired of either having to explain to them, or you realize that, you know what, there's no, they don't get it. They just don't get it. I'm tired of having to overlook or take it or try to explain or stand up for it's just, it was like an uphill battle. It's just this heaviness. There it is. Hangman. It's this heaviness. And it's because this person had no idea, truly, they just didn't see much beyond themselves. For some of you, they might be still trying to connect and trying to, pursue, but I think they've had to make this about their struggle to break free from how they feel about you, and they've got to do what they've got to do. It's like they've kind of martyred what they're doing. Honestly, it feels like it just lacks the depth of why you two aren't working out, because there's been a definite ending here. And they're at the point now where they're telling anybody who will listen, like, well, I just don't know how I'm going to keep pursuing this. But they're making it about them. Not sure what more they can do. And it's like, well, how about, just letting the person go ahead, letting Leo go, because it's like they're making you the jerk and the bad guy because you're not, and for some of you it won't be as harsh as this, but there's this air of victimization because you've shut them down, or you're moving on, you've shut them out. And it's just like, I've tried, I don't know what they want. And it's like, it's because they're taking it personal and they're just focusing on their efforts not being successful rather than what led to the rift in the first place. I can't stress that enough. I think I have, so I'm going to stop. But yeah, just needing to focus on self-care right now. Well, it wouldn't have come to this if they hadn't been so needing to be right and having to have things be about them and being controlling, honestly. So there's a 6 of Cups. And we're suited here, so this is probably a relationship of longevity. Someone you've been with for quite some time that you know very well, whatnot. And I think that's the reason why you kind of disengage, is because you know that there's no changing. This person is not capable of seeing things the way you see them. You two aren't meeting eye to eye, and it's not something you can negotiate with this person, that you can explain and they'll listen. They're kind of closed off to your version of events or things, and they've had to make this about, they've had to martyr this somehow. They've had to make them the victim, themselves the victim, I should say. What else for it, Leo? I know that this is all about, like, for all intents and purposes, after all this effort they put in, it could look like, okay, it's about you stepping up and doing what needs to be. I disagree. I don't think this is about you needing to do the right thing or reconnect. I think this is about you needing to keep walking. I don't think I think what's done is done, and I think it's about both of you learning from things, but I don't think, well, that's a hermit, but I don't think this is about any kind of reconciliation or you two hashing it out, going back and forth, clearing it. I don't think it's about that, because I honestly, it feels like there was a lot more that went on behind the scenes that you didn't tell people about, but I could see why you wouldn't, because it would just be spun. This person is a master at getting sympathy from people and telling anybody who will listen their version of events. And so I could see why you just kind of gave up and wanting a breather and wanting to disengage and wanting to take a break. And they're making it sound like they're championing this transition for themselves. And really, it's like, go away. Leave me alone. Get the hint. I'm not going to be knocking on your door to reconcile. This is you reviewing how you got where you were and wanting to learn from it. Because from right here, you don't ever want to repeat this again. And yet this person is very selfishly staying in the present and just, telling anybody who will listen that they don't understand why, and they just simply did it. Again, spinning the story, and you're just like, I am removed, and leave me out of this, leave me alone. think both of you, hopefully, I know you will, but I hope your person backs off and gives you the space that you need, because you're right now you're interested in just, and if you're not, you should be. But I think you're relishing the quiet and just wanting to look at, just wanting your own space to think about things. And it's not about returning for you. It's not about, this is about your life and the relationship in review. I don't think this is about you stepping up and doing this. Oh, by the way, it says Skull Flowers. Oh, that's appropriate, huh? Creating through the ashes. I think this is about you wanting to take some time for yourself to think about things and to think about what you want in a relationship based on this experience with this person who it was pretty draining. And it looks like you're just not wanting to ever have to deal with something like this again. Very wisely so, right? Leo. Exploring wildness. Okay, so your person might be... Here's the thing. It's like they're prone to kind of extremes, or some would say mania. But this person has to have things a certain way, and they have to see things a certain way. And so they kind of created this story, and they're very much in the present as far as, well, I don't know why Leo won't do this or that or whatever. And it's very short-sighted. I've said this before, but they need to make everything about them. And so they're on this courageous new beginning, and they're just all this, and it's just going to be really fierce, and they're going to explore things, and they're just going to, that's what this feels like. Someone's off to this brand new beginning where they're just going to try this out and just do their best and try to break free of this hold you have on them, when it's just all it's somebody just machinating and kicking dust up and stop. But they can't leave well enough alone. This kind of... It feels like you know this person very well, and this is something that you would be very aware that they do. They make mountains out of molehills, and they kind of make things into... It's like they start telling a story, and they talk themselves into believing it, and then that's the reality, and... it erases all memory prior of what really happened, and it's like, and you having to compete with that with your own version of events, which probably was a lot closer to the truth. This reminds me of that. That's all wrapped up in there, where somebody just, they can't look at what is, they have to morph and change, and yeah, I'm gonna stop because I could fall down that rabbit hole. I don't want to, but please continue to take time to rest from this. And for some of you, it isn't that macabre or sinister. It's just, this is not somebody that you will see eye to eye with right now. So please take this time to think about the relationship and what you really want, because it looks like they're going to be withdrawing for a while. This is someone that is, kind of what I said before, that, I'm taking a breather because I don't know anymore if I want this to work out. I'm tired of having to do all the work to try and get us back together. I don't know if this is worth it for me. I need to take some time to think about things and concentrate on my own well-being and my own mental health. And I just don't know. Which, again, I have a problem with because it feels really short-sighted. There's disappointment and sadness, but it's because they aren't getting what they want. Not because they've lost you, not because they've been rude or disrespectful, or because they've been a poor partner. It's not, this is somebody that just is upset and sad because they're not getting what they want. And they go back and forth between trying to find ways to rethink this and reapproach it. And I think they come to this point where they don't have anything left to try and throw at you or approach you with or machinate. So it's about them withdrawing. Now, is it to re-strategize and pursue again, or is it to spin the story and then come out with a different version to anybody who will listen? There it is, Page of Wands reversed and the Star card reversed. Yeah, that's all about fantasy, wishful thinking, not being realistic about things, and not being able to rest and gather your wits about you, and to heal and to have things in perspective and to be able to think about it. There's no rest for the weary, and this is somebody who behaves like a child. Honestly, this is somebody that gets in their own way a lot, and everybody else has to stop and help them. This is somebody that always has to constantly be about them, and they wear everybody else out. And it's like they suck all the joy and the hope out of the room. Honestly, this is exhausting. This is never getting the rest or validation or kindness or just not getting your needs met in a relationship with somebody like this. Hateful messages, petty communication, someone that's very, very self-centered. Lashes out, sabotages, it's like everything's going on fine, but they just have to, even if it's not broken, even if there's nothing wrong, they have to make it their idea, so they have to change and destroy it so they can create through the ashes, like that card that came up earlier. Just not a good fit for you, Leo. And I'm really glad to see this Hermit pop up, because that's what you should be doing, just taking a breather, a much needed rest, and focusing on your own progress along this path and keeping unto yourself. Good for you. You stay there, because what they're selling, you don't want to buy. What they're saying, it's like, yeah, okay. Having to take some time for myself. I don't know if I want this to work out. Have you been not listening oh, that's right. You haven't been listening. You're preaching to the choir. You don't need to explain to me. I don't know if I want this to work out. Okay. All right. Well, don't let the door hit you where God split you. Off you go. You don't have to explain anything to me. I just need to take time for myself and heal. Okay. Do that. You leave Leo alone. Bye-bye. All right. I hope this was helpful. Sarcasm aside, I hope this was helpful. I want them to leave you alone. I feel like you need some time yourself. They sit there and are making it about them, like, well, I need to focus on myself. You do that, and then you leave me alone as well. Please, just stop. I feel like you need a break also. So, okay. I thank you for stopping by, Leo, and I hope this was helpful, sarcasm aside. And I hope to see you in the next reading. You take care.